Hello, everyone. Someone asked me about twin flame and soulmates, spirit guides. Well, everybody has spirit guides, their own, but most of them cannot hear it. They're too busy making a life. Um, the second thing is with twin flame and soulmates that everybody's soulmate. Whatever who you meet is a soulmate. Everybody is. A twin flame, your true twin flame is within you. It is the masculine and the feminine energy, which is this fire that will burn away all your false self. And that's it. And it's gonna merge. It's gonna have this sacred wedding, you know, and and that's it. Everything else is a stupidifying and dumbed down crap according to a limited human consciousness. That's it. That's it. Whatever. Everybody is here to have that big love, but that love is themselves. That's it. There's nothing you're gonna do or find or whatever. And plus, it depends on what stage you're at your core. Um, as a person, you have a certain level of consciousness. And basically, depending on which level you are, if you are on a level of consciousness whatever, where you still think that you can find love outside of yourself, yeah, then whatever, that's what you're gonna looking for, that's what you're gonna find or whatever. Old souls just just too tired and too clear on the bullshit. It's just that's it. It's like you are the one. You're the one. You are the one. There is no other fucking thing. Everything else you will see, it's just a limited perception. And basically you are the one. That's it. Whatever. And you can have all kinds of stuff. You can, out of boredom, you can look for stuff outside of yourself, out of, but you just have to be really, really strong and honest enough to tell yourself why you're looking for somebody else, because that's really what it is. Most of us are doing that because human relationship is the cheapest entertainment. That's it. Nobody is as poor that they cannot have human relationships, whatever. And then this is what you do, whatever. And basically, that's what you're doing. That's it. It's really, really making this life more interesting than actually it is. you know, it's like this life is so boring, and there is nothing to do here. Once you're done with all the crap, there's nothing to do. So what you do is it's you making your life more interesting for yourself, whatever. Sometimes that's it. It is boring after a while. And then the more intelligent you are, the more bored you are because you've been doing all kinds of stuff, changing the word, changing this, changing that. You were doing all this. Eventually, you will find this that you want to really just, I don't know. It's like it's just so boring. It's you're gonna be bored out of your head. And some people have this that okay, well, people were so working so hard and then they got uh, tired and then they got whatever and then it was all this and that, and eventually you're just gonna find out that whatever that you were doing is whatever that you were doing. So that was your task, that was your thing. I mean, like, after that there's nothing to do. It's really, you cannot change the world, whatever. um and then you have to be, I don't know, it's just be here. It's like the original passion of the soul is I exist, and that's it. And I exist, and then so what? And then once you really came over this boredom, maybe you start really, I don't know, just enjoying life without fear, because actually you become more fearless. Omnipotence is nothing but live life without fear. And, like, since I know that I'm not my thoughts and I know I'm not my feelings, so I no longer sit on the bandwagon of thoughts and feelings and stuff like that and trying to be yanked to left and right. I'm soul, I'm spirit, I'm peace, and that's it. And the thoughts and the feelings try to pull you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I mean, that's it. Once you know that infinite consciousness is beyond all thoughts and all feelings, as a human, as a human being, which is not you, it's this socially conditioned self. And that's it. And once you know that, you just say, well, what the fuck? Whatever. Whatever. Who gives a shit? And it is, it's just weird. Weird, weird, weird. But of course, infinite consciousness is beyond all that thoughts and all those feelings. And well, it's strange because since my Kundalini awakening, which was in February, uh, slowly but surely I started going down a path which is now I'm only dreaming about myself, but previously I noticed that since the black satellite is here or around or whatever, our receptive mode is different. This stage is completely different. mm, I was so bored that it hurts. It was, I was so bored. But I'm telling you, old souls cannot be entertained with the crap that the rest of humanity is entertained with. It's like, you see, there is no point. It's whatever. I exist. It's fun, whatever, just peaceful. Sometimes it's really so boring that it's like you say, okay, so there it is. Boring, 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 boring. And maybe out of the boredom, something's gonna really come out of and gonna be born out of it. Something's gonna stem out of it. It's gonna be, you give birth to something, because this cannot be. There is a purpose in that sense why we're here. Some of us just here to be here, just to exist. And some, it's strange, but some people are just here to align with a greater stuff, with a greater purpose. And anyway, I wrote down everything I could write down in the last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever you call it. And since 2013, February, when I had my DNA activation, I had a walk-in experience, etc. And so I wrote down everything. So this twin flame stuff is a big hype. Everybody's after the twin flame. It's so funny because sometimes I think, some people just come up with the twin flame. It's stupidified and limited in their human consciousness, because that's what it is. But actually, there is really nothing, because some of us had to learn that we are the ones, and that's it. That's the final learning. That's the final phase in that sense. I am the one. I exist. I am who I am. And so, whatever. So, in the process of processing, so embrace the process of processing. I wrote about all these things that I'm going through right now. And I mean, it's just amazing. But the funny thing is, eventually, in the beginning, I thought I have to say it to everybody. But then eventually I figured out all that was I was channeling was for me. It is for me. Whatever when I wrote it down, I posted it. It's on Facebook. You can find it. You can read it. Whatever you do with that. I made some videos, and then that they're pretty good. Um, and that's it. Uh, but everybody has to go through the whole process. Nobody, I mean, no fucking body can understand what you're going through until they are really stepping into that stage, into that period of their life. Nobody can understand it until you are in it, because it's just too complex, too simple at the same time, complex and simple. And but nobody can really get you, and nobody actually has to get you. Eventually you are going to have a hard time getting yourself. It is so insane in that sense. And at the same time, you're seeing all the limitations other people have. uh, you see all the insanity that is out there. You see how people are, how they play their games, how they're eventually you see all that is out there. It's just manipulation, distortion, and distraction from yourself. Because basically, this is what you need to be focused on. I remember once I wrote. you know, self focus is a uh, self fulfilling um, not prophecy, but you know, it's a system that fulfills you. But you have to go through certain stages to arrive to some things. And anyway, it's just you cannot put it in words, really. It's like I never thought that I would be this, that I could not put something in words when I'm very um, I can speak amazingly. If you look at my other videos, it's like I'm really, really capable of speaking. But now it's like I'm entering this deep realm, and they are just no words. They are no words. It just doesn't exist. And then I wonder what's going to happen in that sense, because your mind wants to understand your mind, and your mind wants to understand your feelings, and 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 when you are going beyond all that, is amazing. um, I think you cannot speak about these things because there are just no words. That's it. It's like there is silence. There is silence that is just more than what we can flap our lips, and there's nothing to say. This is where you arrive. It's like you arrive into nothing to say. I elaborate on these things because somebody asked me, but after a while, there's nothing to say. I wonder what I'm gonna be. Am I going to be somebody that's not gonna speak at all? I wonder, you know. Um, a lot of times there are people who ask me things. Sometimes it's just say whatever because they believe whatever they want to believe. Um, like if I say this to somebody, for example, just to make you understand, if I say this to somebody that everybody is your soulmate and there are many potential twin flames until there is none, and because you just play out each other's psychosis with each other, and you're just freeing yourself from each other, because in the beginning, like from there is this, there was you once, ancient times, very ancient. And as I said, when I touched the primal fear coming down, I mean, I was in bliss for weeks, then I was dropped down into my own hell. I touched the primal fear because that primal fear also contains the original blueprint of the soul. And since then, since the 4th of February, I'm on a completely different road than before. And That is it. That is it. And the first love was the first thing that you left yourself for. And this is eventually, this is what you're going to meet. And you are going to be feeling all kinds of pain and all kinds of emotional pain. And in that sense, there is a twin flame which cannot exist together because you are going to free each other from each other to be by yourself, sovereign, free, non attached to none, to nobody ever again. And so, in that sense, there is one and there is none. Okay? So, this was it on Twin Flames and Soulmate and all this stuff. And just enjoy the ride, whatever it takes you. Thanks. Bye.